How you doing, boys and girls? What are the best openings for white in the whole of chess according to a supercomputer neural network, Stockfish neural network? So I was just about to look at this game, and I was going to do a video for you guys about this game, which is a whole heap of fun. And I noticed that when I loaded it, I had lines switched on. So Stockfish is loaded. I've got lines switched on, and we're seeing 3 lines. And if you're not familiar with what does this mean, okay, so let me explain, and then we're just quickly going to look at the 3 best openings in all of chess according to Stockfish, okay? And of course, you know, there are more powerful computers, but the Stockfish is more powerful than any human, so it doesn't really matter. So, what does this mean? So let's look at this, okay? So plus 4, 8, okay? Plus 4, 8, plus 4, 6. So Stockfish has these 2 initial openings as slightly preferable for white than the third one. So plus 4, 8 means that at the end of this line, 20 moves deep, right? Which is enough to complete many chess games. It has white coming out half a pawn better off. Now, white starts off the game half a pawn better off because white always has the first move. So this doesn't really matter. Now, what you have to understand is that, okay, these 3 different lines have to start with different moves. This is the point. So according to Stockfish, if white plays, for example, 1d4 here, okay, and then black plays the best move, white plays the best move, black plays the best move, white, etc., 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 which takes an insane amount of computation, put it that way. Then after everyone's had 20 moves, white ends up slightly better, okay, and that's from the d4, from 1d4. The alternative is 1 knight f3, and it's pretty much the same deal. I mean, it's very likely just a different move order to get kind of to the same place. And then thirdly, you know, the tired old 1e4, which goes into a completely different line, okay? And that ends up with, again, white half a pawn, just under half a pawn better off after 20 moves. Now, the point is that we shouldn't get terribly distracted by all of this, right? Because we aren't going to get 20 consecutive moves of the most accurate play possible according to a computer. It's just not going to happen, right? What we really need in the real world is Stockfish level 3, you know, depth 3. Say, okay, after this, and based on, you know, heuristics, as in who's got a better position, we shall see. Okay, but computers, I mean, humans don't really work like this. Okay, but it's useful, it's there as a guide. Anyway, so I thought I'd pull up these 3 lines, and we're just going to go 6 moves deep into each of them. Okay, now according to the fish god, right, the best way to start is, well, I like I said, I think these 2 kind of transpose into the same thing, is d4, d5, c4, the queen's gambit, right, and then e6 is the queen's gambit declined, right, c6 is an alternative, that's a Slav defense, and then we have knight f3, captures, and e3, thereby releasing this bishop. Okay, so white's got a reasonable position here. This is the point of the gambit, right? White's got 2 central pawns. White's given up 1 pawn, but intends to recapture at some point soon. And black brings out their knight, and we recapture the pawn. Okay, and now c5 comes. Okay, so we've got a pawn on d4. Are we going to defend it one more time? No, we're not. And now a6 from black, probably preparing b5. Okay, so quite a lot of pawn action going on there. And this apparently is very favourable for white. You know, white's already castled, got 2 pieces out on the board, and is not a pawn down. Okay, so there you go. I'm not passing judgment on this. And option number 2, which we saw also comes out after 20 moves for each player, comes out the same as plus 0.48 for white. Knight to f3 from white, and then we have d5, d4, and then this is the queen's pawn opening symmetrical variation, okay? But now we have c4 again from white, so it's almost like with the queen's gambit, white is like Sicilianing black a bit, and we have takes, and now the pawn comes out, and now c5 and captures, and I do believe this is the same position that we had in the previous one. Let's just check. Yeah, exactly the same position after 6 moves. So all the rest is going to happen the same. So you basically got Queen's Gambit accepted is the best opening for white in the world. All right. Now, what about number 3? Because this is an e4 opening. Okay, so if you want to play e4, then the best move for black is the Sicilian. All right. We have knight to f3 and knight to c6. The open Sicilian kind of deal. Now, what we get next from white, according to Stockfish, is very interesting, because we have bishop to b5. Now, this is the Rossolimo attack. The Rossolimo? Okay. And if that rings a bell for you, then cast your mind back to the Queen's Gambit, the series, not the opening we just looked at, the series, when Beth Harmon plays Vasily Bulgakov for the first time. I think it was in Mexico City. I think it's in Mexico, because she just played Jirev, the young kid, and then she goes on and plays Bulgakov at this open in Mexico, and Bulgakov plays the Rossolimo against her. So she's got the black pieces, and she was expecting an open Sicilian with d4, but Bulgakov plays this, bear with me, Nietsmetdinov Rossolimo attack. Nietsmetdinov. There you go. And best move from black, e6, castles, knight g to e7, and c3, and a6, kicking the bishop, bishop retreats, and now b5. All right, so there you go. That's it. Right, this is the two best openings for white, according to Stockfish, with perfect play. But all of these positions obviously perfectly playable, and but the point is that Stockfish doesn't understand chess. Stockfish really does not understand chess, right? Stockfish is not a chess player. Chess players enjoy the game, right? You're a chess player, you enjoy the game. All you have to do is understand the basic rules and you can enjoy playing chess. Stockfish, bless its soul, well, hasn't got a soul. This is the whole point. It can't enjoy playing chess. So should you play these openings? No, right? Unless you want to. This is the point. It's a bloody game, boys and girls. This is the thing. If you've come here looking for, the best opening for white in the world, well, the best opening for white is the opening that you want to play, that you're going to enjoy playing, that works well for you, that leads to enjoyable chess, right? There is absolutely nothing wrong with playing the Queen's Gambit. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, right? There is absolutely nothing wrong with playing the Open Sicilian, okay? All perfectly good stuff, but each of us has to play the openings that we enjoy and that bring us pleasure at the end of the day. So that's really the moral of the story. Do what you like, but enjoy the process and don't give the fish too much credit, right? Because it doesn't understand, right? All it can do is compute, and that's just not human. Chess, I believe, is a human game, should be a human game, and enjoy yourself. That's all I've got to say about that. Okay, see you later.